This episode of Super Over is brought to you by DP World. From transporting the soil and grass 1,200 miles to New York for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup, through to the Beyond Boundaries initiative to make cricket more accessible. DP World's smart logistics help deliver the game at all levels. Smart logistics, beyond boundaries. Welcome to the Super Over here on talkSPORT Cricket. Jarrod, Kimber, Jeremy, Coney here. What an incredible day. There's so much to talk about. We could start with the last ball, but I'm going to leave that for a little while. Washington Sundar's hitting, Jeremy. The noises the ball was making off the bat was just absolutely obscene, and he stole, an extra 39 runs from England with just brutality.
Wasn't it? And really, I think in the long run, it might well be needed because I think, the pitches seem to just calm down a little bit and there's not quite so much happening. But wow, great hitting, wasn't it? 4 fours, 4 sixes. And then they had to change the ball, in fact, because they damaged it so bad.
I mean, he didn't just damage it. There was a full chunk out of that ball. It looked like a wolf had eaten it, right?
Very clean hitting.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Krishna scored of the 39.
Was it none?
None.
How many balls did he face?
One?
I think it was 2.
Okay.
It wasn't a long partnership, to be fair, and he's being shielded. But that's one thing we haven't seen from Washington at the moment is that kind of really destroying at the end where you can't put a field to him. Like, he hasn't always played in the IPL. There's always been a question on whether he can do that. We know he can bat, but whether he can do that role. And he came in at number 9?
Well, we saw him in the last test match defend for almost a day.
Exactly.
Here we saw an entirely different innings.
No, it was remarkable. What about it? At the top of the day was Akash Deep's innings. What did you make of that? There were certain times during that where you were very upset that he was starting to bat like a batter. You liked a little bit of the old-fashioned heave-ho that he was giving.
Well, I like that from a night watch, certainly, because I think that's his job. And he'd done the job and completed it the night before, really. But yeah, I mean, if you think of yesterday, the day before, there was a lot of strange things going on in that first session with wickets falling, and then suddenly out came England, smashed it. Well, this was a bit strange too, really.
Yeah.
You normally would expect the night watch to go quite quickly, and then maybe some wickets or not. Jaiswal would probably do the bulk of the scoring. No, nothing like that at all. Night watch didn't go at all. He stayed virtually, tried to be a night watchman for a start against the spin, and then he started to play properly and let the ball go. What? And then after that, I mean, he got to his personal best. First class
professional
and test.
Cricket, yeah.
Absolutely, 66 runs, scored faster than Jaiswal. Jaiswal was playing second fiddle.
It was
to him.
Ridiculous. Where would they be without that Jaiswal innings though? Because it really was, he came in last night. He had to get through. Last night was tricky.
Yeah,
it was tricky to bat last night. I thought he was really interesting, and then he gets all the way through. Probably the only thing that, and you kind of said this a couple of times. You thought he was not going to throw it away. But it looked like he'd lost a little bit of focus after he was 100, and you were a little bit worried about that. So he didn't go on and get the big score that ended this game. No. But without him, India would have been in all sorts.
Absolutely. Wickets started to fall, didn't they, in that second session? Gill going first ball, more surprises straight away, LBW. Then you have to rebuild. Nair came out. He got hit on the hand and so on. And so then they lost him, one that just bounced a little bit from Atkinson and through to the keeper. And then they lost 3 wickets in that second session. And so, at that point, that was the middle order kind of just starting to subside slightly. Jaiswal went at the end, didn't he? I think he really celebrated. It was over the top celebration because he hadn't scored since the second innings at Birmingham in the second test. And it had been building up clearly. And it was not everybody else's expectation, it was his own.
Agreed.
Imposed upon himself.
Failing.
No, exactly.
He's never failed at anything in life. Right?
No.
So I think that's the next thing he has to really deal with is sometimes you're not going to make runs.
Yeah.
But it was a brilliant innings.
Yeah.
How many runs do you think India make in this innings if England take I'm going to say 7 drop catches. Neil Manthorp probably has 6 down, but I have 7. There was a missed run out as well, maybe a potential other missed run out. But there was somewhere between 7 and 9 chances that England had, and they just kept giving India another go.
Probably, well, they made in the end 373, didn't they? So
250,
maybe with it,
260?
oh, well, not even that, 200.
Really?
Well, Jaiswal was dropped quite early.
Yeah, no,
And
you're
he
right.
got 120. So, you know, there's quite a lot out of it already. So, I would say that it would be as little as that. Run-outs missed, all sorts of things.
They were disappointing. They were Crawley and Brooke and Duckett. It felt like it was the same three guys almost on loop, wasn't it? It's something. Go back and the funny thing was, my friend Abhishek Mukherjee, the great cricket historian, he put up a tweet that said this series started with Jaiswal dropping a lot of catches, and looks like it's going to end with Jaiswal being dropped a lot. Like we've come back down. You know, the snake is eating its tail, Jeremy. And then England come out to bat. So after all that, after Washington Sundar embarrasses them, after, as you said, they might have given up anywhere between 100 or 180 extra runs than we thought they wouldn't. They come out to bat, and I thought they were sensible. There was maybe one or two bad shots being played. Oh my God, there was one or two bad shots being played, but not many. I thought they batted really well, and it wasn't like India gave them a chance either. I thought there was a lot to like about the way England went about that session there.
Reminded me a little bit actually about how they approached chasing 371 at Leeds, that they both started. Perhaps Duckett was a bit more aggressive there, but certainly not Crawley. He did exactly the same here. He wasn't playing wild strokes. It was a relatively peaceful start to their innings, wasn't it? Until, of course, the last ball.
Well, I mean, it was incredible. We were commentating about beer snakes because the game was losing its energy. There was actually two people who decided to leave early. They were English fans, because I was keeping an eye on this. They decided to leave early, and every time Zach Crawley went to face a ball, there was a disruption. I think there was a little bit lack of focus from Zach Crawley. I also think they put the field out for a short ball, and it got in his brain a little bit. And Mohammad Siraj comes in and bowls a Yorker, and he was nowhere near that, was he?
The ball was right on the
ball was perfect.
right on the money.
Crawley was nowhere near the ball.
Absolutely. Crawley just played way outside it, didn't he? And he looked slightly distracted and surprised, I've got to say, when he heard the rattle behind him, and disappointed then, and wandered off, which was last ball of the day. So, 1 for 50. They've got about 320 to make tomorrow or the next day or whenever. No, sorry, we can't go whenever.
No, let's just go tomorrow. This is going to be over one day, one way or another tomorrow.
Unless there's rain.
Who are you picking right at the moment?
I would think, England.
There's only two teams.
England have got a chance, but so have India. He hates that answer.
I would say sit on this fence, but this is the same fence that Manna sat on yesterday and it exploded. We'll be back tomorrow for possibly the final day of this series and a potential tie.
Bangladesh won't win.